3:17 local, Strait of Hormuz, 12.4 nautical miles southeast of Keshem Island. Sea state, moderate. Wind, 11 knots northwest. Visibility cut to 6 nautical miles by Gulf haze. The kind of night where the horizon is a suggestion, where the sea and sky share the same dark and the only reliable reference is the instrument panel. USS Mason, DDG-87 Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, had been on Hormuz Transit Security Patrol for 11 days. In company with USS Cole, DDG-67, and the Saudi frigate Al Riyadh, the three-ship formation existed for one purpose: guarantee freedom of navigation through a 21 nautical mile choke point carrying 17% of global daily oil supply. The TAO, standing the 0200 to 0600 watch, had been monitoring the same contact picture for 6 hours. 3 Sina-class fast attack craft inside Iranian territorial waters. Aggressive positioning, not aggressive behavior. 2 IRGC patrol boats near Keshem. 67 commercial vessels transiting in both directions. Standard picture. The SPY-1D was tracking 212 contacts simultaneously. At 3:18, radar sweep 8425 began. It did not return a clean picture. 16 tracks appeared simultaneously. Then 3 more. Then 6 more. 25 new contacts in 4.1 seconds. All bearing 012 relative. Range 34 nautical miles. Inbound. The Aegis system classified them before the TAO had turned his chair to face the main display. 12 tracks match the flight profile of Shahed 136 loitering munitions. Subsonic, low altitude, small radar cross-section. 8 tracks were faster and carried an electromagnetic signature the threat library resolved without ambiguity. Noor, Iranian anti-ship cruise missile, radar-guided sea-skimming terminal phase. 5 tracks remained unresolved, possibly chaff, possibly additional drones in electronic silence. The TAO called General Quarters at 3:18. From first track to alarm, 8 seconds. What the SPY-1D had detected was not improvised. The package had been launched simultaneously from 4 sites along the Iranian coastline. 2 fixed coastal batteries southwest of Bandar Abbas, a mobile TAL pre-positioned on Keshem Island's northeastern shore 2 nights prior, and an IRGC Aerospace Force drone facility 17 kilometers inland. All 4 fired within a 19-second window, coordinated through a command facility in the Bandar Abbas port complex. The architecture had been 9 months in the design. Phase 1, 12. Shahed, 136 drones in 3 sequential waves. Not expected to penetrate. Designed to be seen, tracked, and engaged. Every interceptor spent on a Shahed was capacity unavailable for what followed. The drones were not the weapon. They were the erasure of the margin. Phase 2. 2. Noor anti-ship missiles timed to arrive 12 seconds behind the last drone wave, flying a terrain masking approach using Keshem Island's eastern coastline to mask their radar return until range 7.1 nautical miles from Mason. At that distance, a system simultaneously managing 22 inbound contacts and CIWS fire control would have approximately 11 seconds to classify and engage both missiles. The planning cell assessed Mason would intercept 1 Noor. They required only that the second complete its terminal phase uncontested. The timing, 3:19 local, was chosen for compounding reasons. End of watch fatigue, Gulf haze degrading optical sensors, commercial traffic stressing classification algorithms. The oblique geometry from 4 separated launch points forced multiple SPY-1D array transitions, a known processing burden. The plan was operationally sophisticated. At 3:19, the Aegis weapons controller initiated automated engagement sequencing. Mason's VLS 32SM6, 28SM, 2MR, Block 3, 12ESSM quad packed. Cole, 6.8 nautical miles northwest, had the same picture. The TAO approved automated engagement. First interceptor away. Detection to first missile, 24 seconds. SM, 2MR and ESSM rounds launched against Shahed Wave 1. Cole employed SM-6 against Noor Contact 1 at range 29 nautical miles. Mason's SM-6 rounds 1 and 2 away in redundant engagement on both Noors. All 4 Shaheds of Wave 1 neutralized within the next 22 seconds. Wave 2 was already inside 22 nautical miles. 4 ESSM rounds away. 3 of 4 contacts neutralized. 1 Shahed survived proximity fusing and continued inbound. CIWS opened fire. 247 rounds of 20 millimeters in 3.8 seconds. Contact disintegrated 0.7 nautical miles off Mason's port bow. Near-miss debris across the weather deck. No breach. Wave 3 at 14 nautical miles. SM-2MR and ESSM rounds away. 2 contacts neutralized immediately. 1 Shahed executed a lateral evasion and escaped the envelope. 1 ESSM intercept at 6 nautical miles. The evading drone, Contact 11, closed to 0.4 nautical miles and impacted the water 80 meters off Mason's starboard beam. No breach. 12 Shaheds. 0 penetrations. Cole's SM-6 detonated against Noor. Contact 1 at 19 nautical miles. A cloud of radar returns, briefly tracked, then reclassified as debris. Contact 1 gone. Contact 2 was the problem the plan had been built to create. Contact 11's evasion maneuver had held the CIWS in its 4.2-second reset cycle, while Noor Contact 2 flew the radar shadow of Cusham Island's limestone ridge. The missile emerged at range 7.1 nautical miles, bearing 014, Mach 0.9, 11 seconds to impact. SM-6 minimum flight time to intercept, 6.2 seconds. Available window, 4.8 seconds. Outside parameters. CIWS completed reset and acquired Contact 2 at range 1.8 nautical miles. The gun fired. The engagement lasted 3.1 seconds. 2 20mm impacts struck the missile's guidance section. Enough to damage the seeker head, not enough to cause structural failure. Terminal accuracy degraded 4 meters laterally. The Noor continued. This was the adversary's best moment. At the precise moment of maximum defensive expenditure, CIWS mid-reset, ESSM reduced, SM-6 countdown, the missile built to get through was 11 seconds from impact. The planning cell had bought their weapon 11 seconds of uncontested terminal flight. It was enough. The Noor impacted Mason's port side at frame 147, deck level 2, at 0319. The shaped charge warhead, 165 kilograms of high explosive. Detonated on contact. Blast propagated through 4 adjacent compartments. Hull breach, 2.1 meters by 1.4 meters. Primary damage. The forward fire main ruptured at 3 points. Pressure dropped from 100 pounds per square inch to 0 in 4 seconds. Fire suppression removed from the forward third of the ship. SPY. 1D Array 2, mounted above the impact point on the port superstructure. Lost power feed from the forward electrical bus seconds later. The array went dark. 25% of the ship's radar coverage, the port and port forward quadrant, ceased to function. Blast overpressure propagated upward through the frame. Cells 1 through 32 of the forward VLS bank registered loss of power on the status board. The forward bus cable had been severed by fragmentation. 32 interceptors, loaded, operational, ready 30 seconds earlier, were no longer accessible. Secondary. The adjacent pump room began flooding through the hull breach. Ingress rate, approximately 340 liters per minute. Flooding alarm at 320. Tertiary. Radar coverage at 75%. Accessible VLS at 40 of 96 cells. Forward fire main inoperable. Propulsion untouched. In 10 seconds, the ship had lost a quarter of its eyes and more than half its available interceptors. The TAO was mid-sentence on the fire control circuit when the deck moved. Not vibration. Displacement. The kind of movement that meant something structural had changed at a fundamental level. The displays shifted to battle red. The smell arrived before the alarms. burning insulation, ruptured hull plating, something chemical. Then the alarms he had trained for 1,000 times. He found he was already moving before he had decided to move. The DC party assigned to the forward lower spaces. 6 personnel, 2 portable P-100 pumps, 1 AFFF unit, was at their muster station within 75 seconds of general quarters. Their route to frame 147. Forward magazine passageway, down 2 ladders, through a watertight door that had auto-sealed on the flooding alarm. They overrode the seal at 3:20. The compartment was in darkness. Battle lanterns active. 1 rendered inoperable by the blast. Smoke dissipating through HVAC. Carbon monoxide elevated but within survivable parameters. The adjacent pump room had water at 0.6 meters and rising. Flooding boundary established at frame 130 at 0321. All through-hole fittings and cable penetrations isolated to prevent water migration to adjacent spaces. Both P-100 pumps deployed into the pump room, each rated at 680 liters per minute discharge against an ingress rate of 340. A 4-to-1 margin. First pump started at 321. Second, 30 seconds later. Water level peaked at 0.84 meters, then began dropping. By 321, it had fallen to 0.79 meters. The boundary held. Simultaneously, the engineering officer of the watch initiated emergency power rerouting from the aft electrical bus. Undamaged, carrying sufficient capacity for isolated forward cell feeds if non-standard cable connections were made at the forward switchboard. The electrician's mate completed the connection at 323. Cells 1, 4, and 7 in the forward bank came back online. 3 cells, not 32, but 3 operational SM-6 interceptors where there had been 0. SPY-1D array. 2 remained offline. Power cable severed at 2 points by fragmentation. Repair parts unavailable underway. No fire had ignited from the initial impact. AFFF units staged at frame 120 as precautionary cover. The DC team reached frame 147 in 90 seconds. Water to their knees, the P-100 weighing 80 pounds on the shoulder of the petty officer second class who carried it. He had drilled this compartment 31 times. His hands found the pump connections in the dark without needing to see them. The pump started. The flooding rate indicator stopped climbing. He looked at it for 4 seconds, then looked at his team. "Boundary holds," he said. That was sufficient. At 3:23, 6 minutes and 58 seconds after impact, the DCA reported to the captain. Flooding. Controlled. Boundary at frame 130. Fire main. Inoperable forward of frame 120. Array 2. Offline. No underway repair. Forward VAFI. LS. 3 cells restored. 30 offline. Hull breach. Contained. Ship status. Degraded but operational. The captain picked up the fleet command circuit. USS Mason reported to Commander, Naval Forces Central Command at 0324. A U.S. Navy destroyer had been struck by a confirmed Noor anti-ship missile in international waters. Ship operational. Engagement deliberate. 4 launch origins fixed by SPY-1D track data before Array 2 went offline. Target package transmitted to CENTCOM at 0326. 6 sites identified. Site Alpha. Fixed coastal battery, southwest of Bandar Abbas. 1 Noor fired. 1 canister remaining. Site Bravo. Mobile TEL. Kesham Island northeastern shore. 1 Noor fired. Launcher position post-firing unknown. Site Charlie. Fixed coastal battery with squall fire control radar. 12 nautical miles east of Bandar Abbas. Site Delta. IRGC Aerospace Force drone facility, 17 kilometers inland. Site Echo. IRGC Navy Command Facility, Bandar Abbas Port Complex. Site Foxtrot. Ammunition and missile storage. Quisham Island. CENTCOM authorized the response at 3:31. Time from impact to authorization, 11 minutes, 17 seconds. The authorization came before the planning cell in Tehran had completed its post-engagement assessment. Every surface combatant in the Gulf maintained preloaded target packages for Iranian coastal defense infrastructure. Coordinates updated every 72 hours. Pre-reviewed, pre-authorized for exactly this contingency. The weapon solutions existed. The authorization was the only missing element. It had just arrived. USS Cole and 2 secondary combatants began Tomahawk launch sequencing at 0331. Carrier Strike Group USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, 210 nautical miles south in the Arabian Sea, received air wing launch authorization at 0333. T+0. Impact on Mason. 319. T+11 minutes. CENTCOM authorization. 331. T+22 minutes. First Tomahawk, USS Cole VLS. 341. T+27 minutes. First F/A, 18E/F catapult launch, Eisenhower. 346. T+38 minutes. First Tomahawk impacts Site Alpha. 357. T+47 minutes. F/A, 18 first wave weapons release. 406. Total from impact to first adversary target neutralized, 38 minutes. First Tomahawk, VLS, Cell 14, USS Cole. 341. Cost, $1.87 million. Target, Site Alpha primary emplacement. Flight path, 30 meters above the Gulf surface. Terrain following, 210 nautical miles in 16 minutes. Running response cost, $1.87 million. Tomahawks 2 through 8 followed in a 37-second sequence. Site Alpha reinforcement, Site Charlie, Site Echo Operations Annex, Site Foxtrot Storage Compound. Running cost, $15.0 million. Tomahawks 9 through 38 away from Cole and secondary combatants by 0349. Targets, Site Alpha Radar Annex, Site Charlie Launch Rails, Northern Radar Network installations, Road Junction Denial Packages. Total Tomahawk expenditure, 38 rounds, $71.1 million. The F/A, 18E/F. Super Hornets launched from Eisenhower in 2 4-ship formations, port and starboard bow catapults simultaneously. 8 aircraft in under 4 minutes. Catapult steam venting through the deck. The choreography of a carrier night launch 210 nautical miles south of the fight. Weapons load, JSOW, glide munitions for the radar network. JDAM, packages for Chesham Island road infrastructure. First wheels up, 346. 357. Site Alpha. The first Tomahawk impacted the primary emplacement with a 1.8-meter circular error. The remaining unfired Noor canister was neutralized 38 minutes after it had contributed to the engagement on Mason. Round 2 arrived 14 seconds later on the Squall Fire Control radar, the guidance source for both Noor launches. Radar ceased emitting at 358. Running cost at this point, 20 Tomahawks expended, $37.4 million in munitions. Site Alpha confirmed neutralized. Adversary replacement cost estimated at $340 million. Total response cost, $50.0 million. 402. Site Charlie. 2 Tomahawks, 4.1 seconds apart. Secondary detonation. Stored missile inventory igniting in a 47-second chain. Visible as a sustained infrared bloom on the MQ-9 Reaper feed from 22,000 feet. Site Charlie. Eliminated. 404. Site Echo, Bandar Abbas. 2 Tomahawks on the Operations Annex, the facility that had transmitted the fire order for the engagement on Mason. Both rounds on target. Ceased to function at 404. 406. Site Foxtrot, Chesham Island. 1 Tomahawk, then secondary detonations lasting nearly 3 minutes. Visible from Mason's Bridge, 14 nautical miles distant. Foxtrot, neutralized. 408. Northern Radar Network. First F/A, 18 formation at weapons release range. 8 JSOW munitions against 4 radar installations, providing over-the-horizon targeting coverage across the southern sector. 7 of 8 guided to impact within 4 meters of designated aim points. Confirmed 4. 08 through 409. The 8th JSOW failed GPS lock and terminal phase, impacted a field 340 meters short of the designated antenna. The antenna survived, isolated, its data links to already neutralized sites severed. 412 F/A 18-second formation. 6 JDAMs against road choke points on Keshim Island. Bridge approaches and junctions the mobile TEL would need for alternate firing positions with line of sight to the strait. All 6 confirmed impact. The first Tomahawk left Cole's VLS at 0341. The crew of Mason, 6.8 nautical miles away, felt the launch through the hull. The deep percussive cycle of a gas generator charge expelling 3,000 pounds of cruise missile from a cell identical to their own. Then another. 7 more in 37 seconds. A different sound from the one that had hit them 22 minutes earlier. The same physics. The opposite direction. Not everything worked. Site Bravo, the mobile TEL on Keshim Island, was not at its last known coordinates when the designated Tomahawk arrived at 403. The launcher had fired its Noor at 319 and immediately executed its displacement protocol. IRGC mobile launch doctrine required vacating the firing position within 10 minutes of any weapons release. The Site Bravo crew had driven 5.1 kilometers north along a pre-surveyed gravel track and parked inside a civilian logistics compound between 2 shipping containers. The Tomahawk impacted a concrete hardstand that had last held a missile canister 6 hours before the engagement. Real target. Wrong time. Post-engagement imagery confirmed the vacated hardstand at 404. The launcher's actual location was identified at the logistics compound at 411. A second Tomahawk was retargeted, launched at 413. Arrival computed at 438. By 438, the launcher had moved again. Site Bravo was not neutralized during the response window. Its status at 500 local, present on Keshim Island, actively relocating, and without a functioning targeting picture. Site Alpha's fire control radar was gone. Site Charlie's battery was gone. The northern radar network had been reduced to one isolated installation with no active data links. A mobile anti-ship missile launcher without radar guidance is an armed vehicle without targeting information. The IRGC crew had their launcher. They had no means of employing it. Second gap. Site Echo. The operations annex was confirmed structurally neutralized. What post-engagement imagery could not confirm was whether the personnel who coordinated the operation were present at time of impact. IRGC security protocols called for personnel dispersal to alternate command nodes during active operations. The facility was gone. Its occupants' whereabouts unconfirmed. 2 mobile or personnel targets unconfirmed neutralized. 5 of 6 fixed sites confirmed neutralized. 1 JSOW guidance failure. Devastating. Not omniscient. At 421, both FA-18 formations turned south toward Eisenhower. Weapons loads expended. Adversary investment. 12 Shaheds at $20,000 each. $240,000. 2 Noors at $500,000 each. $1 million. Total. $1.24 million. Damage achieved. Hull breach, frame 147. Array 2 offline. 29 VLS cells inoperable. Fire main inoperable. Flooding controlled. Repair cost, $54 million. Off operational time, 112 days. Exchange ratio, 43-1. U.S. response, 38 Tomahawks at $1.87 million. $71.1 million. 16 F/A 18 sorties. $16.4 million. 2 MQ-9 sorties. $0.8 million. Total, $88.3 million. Adversary infrastructure removed. $2.1 billion replacement cost. 7 to 11 years to reconstitute under sanctions. U.S. ratio, 23-1. In pure per-dollar terms, the adversary bought the more efficient exchange. $1.24 million against a $2 billion platform. Superior return. on a single engagement balance sheet. What they failed to account for: the $54 million in damage repairs in 112 days. The $2.1 billion in coastal defense infrastructure does not reconstitute in 112 days. It reconstitutes in years. One missile. The response cost 71 times the weapon that triggered it. The infrastructure removed cost 1,700 times its price. On the tactical level, the planning cell executed correctly. The saturation architecture worked. One Noor penetrated Aegis. Real damage to a real ship. 3 miscalculations undid the strategic value of that tactical success. Timing. The cell modeled U.S. response authorization at 4 to 6 hours, consistent with observable U.S. response patterns over the previous decade. The assessment was historically accurate. Strategically obsolete. 11 minutes and 17 seconds to authorization. 38 minutes to first target impact. Scale. The cell assessed the response would be proportional. 1 or 2 sites, calibrated against diplomatic sensitivity. What arrived was 38 Tomahawks and 16 aircraft against 6 sites, executed simultaneously without warning. The doctrine had changed. Their model had not. The ship. The cell assessed Mason would be off operational status for 60 to 90 days, creating a patrol gap IRGC naval units could exploit. Mason was operational within hours. Cole covered the patrol area uninterrupted. Al Riyadh assumed Mason's sector at 4 o'clock local. The gap never materialized. USS Mason entered Bahrain under her own power at 13:47 local, 9 hours and 28 minutes after the engagement. Speed held to 14 knots while maintaining the flooding boundary at frame 130. Repair estimate: $54 million, 112 days. Combat capability at arrival: 75% radar, 43 of 96 VLS cells accessible, all 4 propulsion turbines operational. Degraded, not rendered combat ineffective. 4 crew members were medevaced to the coalition medical facility in Bahrain. None critical. All expected to return to duty within 30 to 60 days. The after-action report described their conditions as consistent with the physical effects of a significant blast overpressure event in a confined shipboard space. It did not elaborate further. USS Mason, DDG-87. Hull breach frame 147, deck 2, 2.1 meters by 1.4 meters. Controlled. SPY-1D. Array 2 offline, 25% radar degradation. Forward VAF LS. 29 cells offline, 3 restored. 33% capacity reduction. Forward fire main inoperable forward of frame 120. Propulsion unaffected. 4 crew medevaced non-critical. Ship returned under own power. Repair: $54 million, 112 days. USS Cole, DDG-67. No damage. 20 Tomahawks expended. USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, CVN-69. 16F/A, 18E/F sorties. All aircraft recovered. Total response cost: $88.3 million. Adversary: Alpha, neutralized. Bravo, mobile, unlocated, non-operational. Charlie, neutralized. Delta, neutralized. Echo, Annex neutralized. Personnel unconfirmed. Foxtrot, neutralized. Radar network, 3 of 4 neutralized. Southern sector capability, 18% of pre-engagement baseline. U.S. execution. Gaps. Tomahawk targeting Site Bravo. Impacted vacated hardstand. Launcher had displaced. JSOW Round 8 guidance anomaly. 1 antenna survived. Site Echo personnel disposition unconfirmed. 38 minutes. The interval between a Noor impacting the hull of a U.S. destroyer at frame 147 and the first Tomahawk impacting the site that launched it. Not 4 to 6 hours. Not a proportional response calibrated against diplomatic windows. 38 minutes from a preloaded target database through a decision chain compressed to the minimum interval the system allowed, executed without pause and without negotiation. The adversary's planning cell built their strategic calculation on the premise that hitting a U.S. warship bought them hours. The premise was wrong. It bought them 38 minutes. 5 sites confirmed neutralized. 1 mobile launcher unlocated and effectively blind. 1 ship degraded but operational. 1 straight uninterrupted. The missile that hit Mason cost $500,000. The response cost $88.3 million. The infrastructure removed will cost $2.1 billion and 4 to 7 years to reconstitute. The ship will be repaired in 112 days and returned to the same patrol area. The planning cell had studied Mason's defensive systems for 9 months. They designed an operation that worked as intended. 1 missile through Aegis. Real damage to a real ship. A genuine tactical success by any measure they chose to apply. What they had not studied was the 38 minutes that followed. That gap between the Noor hitting the hull and the first Tomahawk hitting the battery that fired it is not written in any doctrine manual. It is the operational expression of a single institutional decision that you do not engage a U.S. warship and retain the capability to do it again. The southern sector's coastal defense network is assessed as functionally eliminated. The Strait of Hormuz is open.